No formal statements have been released just yet, but China's official Xinhua news agency is calling these talks, quote, an important step. On Saturday in Geneva, He Lifeng, the Chinese vice premier, spoke for about 8 hours with the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, as well as a U.S. trade representative. And the talks will continue today. And these talks are significant. This is the first time we're seeing this high-level face-to-face talks between U.S. and China since this latest trade war broke out in March. Now, this is what we heard from the Xinhua official news agency in a commentary that it released on Saturday. It addressed these talks underway in Geneva. Let's bring it up for you, saying this, quote, engagement in Switzerland is an important step toward resolving the issue. However, an ultimate solution requires sufficient strategic patience and determination, as well as the just support of the international community, unquote. Earlier this year, U.S. President Donald Trump slapped tariffs of up to 145% on China, and China hit back with retaliatory tariffs of about 125%. And it also struck back by limiting U.S. film imports and limiting the exports of rare earth materials, which is critical in the U.S. tech industry and defense industry. And before these Geneva trade walks went underway, we heard some really interesting comments from the U.S. President Donald Trump, who said he was open to the possibility of lowering tariffs on China. Let's bring up what he said on Truth Social, and I'll spare you the all caps version of it. This is what he said. He said, quote, China should open up its market to USA, would be so good for them. Closed markets don't work anymore. 80% tariff on China seems right. It's up to Scott B. Of course, he's making a reference to Scott Bessent, the U.S. Treasury Secretary, who is present in Geneva for these talks right now. Now, although an 80% tariff on China would be a steep drop from the current 125%, it still is a major drag on trade. A lot is riding on these talks because the trade war underway between U.S. and China has roiled global markets. It has roiled the U.S. bond market. It has upended the global supply chain. It has raised the risk of the recession. And yet analysts we've been speaking to both here in China and the United States say that it is not likely that we are going to see any sort of breakthrough. Another complicating matter is the fact that trade talks are not just about trade. Non-trade matters as well are part of the equation, including discussion about fentanyl cooperation, about tech restrictions, about geopolitical issues like the war in Ukraine, and an issue that Donald Trump has brought up recently, the fate and future of the jailed Hong Kong media mogul Jimmy Lai. And this is why, even though the stakes are so high here, Ben, expectations for a breakthrough are low. Back to you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that, Kristie Lu Stout in Hong Kong. We appreciate it. I'll speak to you again in an hour.